for dinner? Do you ever get asked that by your family and friends every night? Well, here is a delicious, healthy meal option. As someone who has been cooking for years, I have always tried new recipes and new types of ingredients and things to try out with cooking. This one in particular has always been a favorite of mine because of how easy it is and how delicious it is. I know this recipe like the back of my hand. I have made it so many times and have always gotten really nice compliments on it. It's the perfect amount to eat, and it's also really fun to enjoy. Today I'm going to teach you how to make my chicken vegan pesto squash bowls that are a healthy, allergen-friendly, and enjoyable dinner that anyone can make. We're going to discuss my dairy allergy and how it impacts me and my cooking. We're going to discuss the materials needed, as well as the prep work, and instructions on how to fully make the dish. Now, I am allergic to dairy, and this allergy really impacts what I can make and what I can eat. It's really hard to find substitutes for recipes, mainly because I used to eat dairy all the time. I love cheese, and so it was a big transition for me. So I figured I could try new things and learn how to make them dairy-free, and I finally found dairy-free alternatives that I really enjoy, and others do too. Now here is a dairy-free meal that I love to make and the materials needed to make this dish. First, you'll need either 2 cooked chicken breasts or 2 chicken breasts that you'll cook during prep work, vegan or regular pesto, acorn squash or more if you have more guests that you are feeding. You want to make sure that they're green with a hint of yellow, just not too firm, just to make sure that would be good. An optional would be cheese or dairy-free cheese, and I recommend Follow Your Heart brand Parmesan. You'll need a large knife in order to split your acorn squash, a cutting board to cut your acorn squash on, a KitchenAid to easily shred your chicken, and a blender if you decide to make your own pesto. You'll also need a preheated oven and a baking dish with a little bit of water at the bottom. That way your acorn squash does not burn while it's in the oven. Now once you have gathered your materials, there is a little bit of prep work that is needed. You'll place your 2 cooked chicken breasts in your mixing bowl of your KitchenAid to shred, and put it at about 2, and make sure that you either use your cover or cover with your hands to make sure none of the chicken flies out, or you could use a fork if you do not have a KitchenAid. You'll want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees and put about a cup of water in your baking dish. Then you'll take out your cutting board and carefully cut your acorn squash in half so it looks like 2 small bowls, and you'll want to scoop out the seeds and throw those away. Now this is optional if you do decide to make your own pesto. I do personally, because the little jars of pesto that you can get, they always include dairy in them, little pieces of cheese, so I cannot eat them. So together, I blend basil, olive oil, pine nuts, garlic, and a splash of lemon. I usually just eyeball all these ingredients depending on which flavor you favor the most, so just really eyeball it. Now we're going to discuss how to bake the dish. You'll want to place your squash in the baking dish and place a tablespoon of butter in each squash bowl. That's what they look like, little squash bowls. And season with salt and pepper or any other seasonings that you prefer. You'll want to place it in the oven for about 40 minutes, and while that's baking, you'll put your chicken and your pesto together in a separate bowl and mix it together, and you could add cheese if you would like. Now after 40 minutes, you'll pull your squash bowls out of the oven and place your chicken pesto mixture into the bowls and add Parmesan cheese on top, or the dairy-free brand that I did recommend, and place back in the oven for about 5 to 8 minutes, and then you will be able to enjoy. So now you know how to make chicken vegan pesto squash bowls. That is a healthy, allergen-friendly dish. We discussed my dairy allergy and how I have struggled in the past with how to make dishes that I typically enjoyed with actual dairy. We discussed the materials that were needed, as well as the prep work that was needed, and how to make this dish and how to enjoy. Now you may either have a new dinner idea or option if you are dairy-free like me. Thank you.
Great. Good job.
Very
Everybody
nice.
still
Oh,
here?
yeah?
Yeah. Good.